Get ready with me while I explain how I auditioned for A2K. My agent was the one that sent me the audition. It was an online submission. I had to submit a slate, a singing video, a rapping video, and a dancing video. The audition at the time was titled Untitled Girl Group Search 2022, run by JYP and Republic Records. So I sent in my audition and I hadn't heard anything in a couple weeks, and then I found out that I made it to the next round. The next round of auditions were in person, so I got to pick the state that I wanted to audition in, and I picked Chicago. So Mom and I drove to Chicago and I had to prepare 2 songs and a dance. They sent us a list of songs to choose from and then one that we can do on our own. And then they sent us a list of dance songs to choose from as well. So the day of, we drove downtown Chicago, we checked in, I got my little name sticker, and then I was waiting in the waiting room. I made some friends in the waiting room and she actually DM'd me after A2K came out. Someone came to interview some of the contestants and they kind of asked us like what our favorite K-pop groups were, where you're from, and all that stuff. So a casting producer came to get me, shout out to Ali because she made me feel so comfortable that day. I had to wait in a separate waiting room and then they called me in. It was in front of 2 female judges and then a cameraman, and Ali came inside with me. For this round, I got to pick if I wanted to either sing or dance, so I picked singing. The first round flew by. Like, it went by so quickly. It was literally just a song and then you were out. So I waited outside to see if I made it to the second round of auditions, and they told me I made it, so then I went back to the waiting room. Not long after that, they called me in for the second round of auditions. For the second round, I had to sing and dance. I just can't remember if I sang 2 songs or 1, but I know I had to sing and dance. Second time, I think, was in front of 3 judges and the camera people, of course. After the second audition, I went outside and waited, and then they told me that I made it to the 3rd round. And keep in mind, I did not know this was in front of JYP himself, so I'm just thinking like maybe it's like the same process. Still super nervous, I don't know what's going on, but okay, 3rd round, that seems pretty cool. And then they told me they wanted to do an interview with me, so this guy brought me into another room and it was him and a translator. She was so nice, super nice, oh my goodness. We did a little interview just to get to know me and my background story. After the interview was done, they told me I was free to go grab something to eat. So I went to grab something to eat with my mom. And keep in mind, I still didn't know if other contestants made it to the 3rd round as well. So I was like, okay, like, am I the only one? Like, is there other people coming? And then I met my favorite girl, Lexi. This is when I got to meet the queen herself, Lexi. We got to meet in the waiting room, and let me tell you, Lexi is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. She's so kind, so humble, and so freaking talented. Like, I remember watching her dance in the practice room and just being in awe of how good she was. So we're waiting in the waiting room together, practicing, getting to know each other, and then they called us in to go to a different waiting room. I forgot to mention that at this point we knew that we were auditioning in front of JYP, so we were even more nervous than before. But Lexi went in first, and then I went. And I don't know what happened with Lexi, if she got in at this point or not, because I couldn't see. I was just in a separate waiting room waiting for my turn. While I was waiting for my turn, the cameraman kept asking me how I was feeling, and I just kept on responding. I'm super excited, I'm just very nervous because it's JYP, like, it's JYP. So I walked in and there was a room full of cameras and JYP was literally in the middle of the room, and I walk in and my first impression was like, this guy has flawless skin and oh my god, he is the CEO of JYP Entertainment. Like, this is insane. This is crazy. I introduced myself. JYP made me feel so comfortable. He was so sweet. I sang 2 songs. I sang Wrecking Ball and Without Me, and then I also danced for him. JYP gave me feedback and he said that my singing was really good. It's just I had to work on my breathing because it sounded like I was running out of air, which he was correct on that because my singing at the time, my breathing was not the greatest. And for the dancing part, he said my dancing was very stiff and I needed to work on my flexibility. At this point, I'm not really sure if I made it to the LA round because of my dancing specifically, and the feedback he gave me was singing as well. But then he later said, if I give you this opportunity to go to LA, will you take that time to better yourself? And I said, JYP, I will take that time to better myself. I'm very determined. I really want this. He ended up saying that like he believes in me and that he sees the potential. So he ended up giving me, hold on, I'm gonna get it. For those of you who watch the show, you'll know what this is, but he ended up giving me this. We didn't get to keep it, but he put it around my neck and he's like, okay, Melissa, you were chosen to go to, oops, You were chosen to go to the LA boot camp. He put this around my neck, and then I opened the doors to go tell my mom, and she was just waiting out there for me with the camera people, and I was like, I got through! And then my mom started crying, I started crying. I did a quick interview to finish it off, just to say like I'm so excited for the LA boot camp. And then I saw Lexi, and I saw Lexi made it too, and I'm like, oh my god, we're going to LA together! We were literally like screaming and bonding over this. And we were so excited. That's basically my experience on how I auditioned for A2K. So honored and grateful that JYP believed in me and saw the potential and put me through to the next round, because honestly, LA was definitely like an experience I will never forget. Like, this whole opportunity was an experience I will never forget, and I'm completely and utterly thankful for it. So thank you so much, JYP, and thank you to the fans for watching the show. I forgot to put my setting spray on, but love you.